Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
Looking for these better days.
It is Friday, August 7th. I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's what you need to know to make today a better day. A wild opening to the NFL preseason at the Hall of Fame game last night. We continue our 32-32 team previews with the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Boston Red Sox remain the hottest team in Major League Baseball. But we start in football on this episode of Better Day presented by FanDuel. Last night, the Hall of Fame game provided all of the excitement that we have been missing ever since last NFL season came to a close. The Panthers with a 33-30 walk-off victory over the Arizona Cardinals after Haynes King rushed in the game-winning touchdown as time expired. Kenny Pickett got the start for the Panthers. He was 8 of 11 passing for just 62 yards, and Haynes King took over the reins the rest of the way. The former Georgia Tech standout, 21 of 34 for 180 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 3 carries for 39 yards, and the game-winning rushing touchdown. As for the Arizona Cardinals, Carson Beck got the start. The former Miami Hurricane went 15 of 19 for 188 yards and a touchdown. Keaton Slovis took over, went 9 of 10 for 106 yards and a touchdown as well. After a scoreless first quarter, looked like this game was headed towards an under, but 34 points scored in the second quarter as they went into the half tied at 17. There was only 3 points scored in the third quarter, 26 in a wild fourth quarter, for the total to go way over with 66 total points. But we cashed our first best bet of the NFL season with the first half to be higher scoring than the second half. So we're 1-0 here in the 2026 NFL season. Time to retire and quit while we're ahead, I guess. Fun game last night. Really, I just loved having football back on my television. I came in with a plan last night to live bet a live under if we got an early score. We did not get an early score. I probably should have taken like the opposite approach and played a live over after if it was a scoreless first quarter. But I was just happy that we got a huge scoring second quarter, because going into the half with it 17-17, I felt pretty confident that we were going to cash our bet of the first half being the higher scoring half. So what do we take away from this game? Well, the Panthers covered as a short favorite. And for anybody watching the game at the end that thought, oh, they'll kick a field goal to tie it, they don't go to overtime in the preseason. Nobody plays for overtime. You go for the win. Like, no, they were never going to kick a field goal to tie the game at 30. So that was never going to come into the equation there. But good play by Haynes King, deciding to pull the ball down and run it. Little pump fake once he got to like the 5-yard line and extends in for the game-winning touchdown. Does this mean we take overs now for the rest of the NFL preseason? I certainly think that there will be some recency bias in the preseason week 1 numbers, and we might see some uptick because of how high scoring this Hall of Fame game was. This is now 5 straight overs for the Hall of Fame game. So for those keeping notes for next year, we'll see if the total ticks up again. The total for this game was 35.5, 36.5. Like, that was a major uptick from what we've seen the past 4 years. But seeing 63 points scored might change the way that the numbers close for the remainder of the NFL preseason, which doesn't get underway. Week 1 of the preseason, by the way, doesn't get underway until next Thursday, the 13th. So that'll be interesting to see where those numbers wind up getting to by the time we get to Thursday's kickoff. Speaking of next Thursday, that is the debut of our Better Day football show featuring myself, Steve Fezzik, and Joshua Nunn. We'll break down the NFL preseason, we'll break down early college football bets, and we will be live streaming each and every Thursday, 2 o'clock Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time, on the Better Day YouTube channel and on the Better Day Twitter page. And yes, the episode will be podcasted as well right here on this Better Day podcast feed. Let's talk about what other news went down in the NFL yesterday. Jahmyr Gibbs became the highest paid running back in NFL history as the Lions and Gibbs agreed to a 3-year, $67.5 million deal that could be worth up to $75.75 million, including $51.5 million guaranteed. Once again, Jahmyr Gibbs, the highest paid running back in NFL history. Gibbs is the betting favorite to be the offensive player of the year, and with good reason. The Detroit Lions have a very, very manageable schedule this year, and he is not going to be splitting any time now that David Montgomery is elsewhere. So this could be a big season for Jahmyr Gibbs, and it passes the deal that Bijan Robinson just signed a couple of days ago with the Atlanta Falcons. So one guy gets paid, and then the next guy gets paid. And I always say, and everyone always says, but it's something that I reiterate all the time when talking about NFL contracts. It's not who you are, it's when you are. And you could argue Gibbs versus Bijan. Bijan got his deal first. Gibbs' deal was after. He gets the higher contract. Now let's get into our 32 in 32 NFL team preview with today's team, the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City, a minus 186 favorite up on FanDuel to make the playoffs. They are plus 1,700 to win the Super Bowl. They're the plus 160 favorites to win the AFC West with a win total of 10.5 wins. However, it is minus 140 to the under of that 10.5 wins. As far as our trench report, we have Kansas City as our 4th ranked trench team facing the 11th easiest trench strength of schedule. The biggest question mark with the Kansas City Chiefs is the health of Patrick Mahomes. Trying to come back extremely quickly from a torn ACL and LCL. He says he's going to be ready for week number 1. I don't know if he's going to be 100%, and he's probably not going to be 100% by week number 1. Knowing Mahomes, he's probably going to play, even if he's not 100% ready. But how's he going to play? And do the Chiefs actually need Mahomes to be the old Mahomes, at least early on in the season? I think that's the biggest question that I think we're going to have to wait and see with this offense is what does it look like? Eric Bieniemy is back as the offensive coordinator. Matt Nagy is out. The Chiefs last year had absolutely no play action game. They ranked dead last in play action passing yards last year, and they want to establish the run, which is why they brought in Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker. And that's something that I expect to see at least early on in the season. Like we target week 1, week 2, week 3. Like I think the Chiefs rely more on Kenneth Walker earlier in the season to take the pressure off of Patrick Mahomes. And then, once Mahomes has his footing underneath him, then the passing game opens up a little bit more. But I'd be looking at Mahomes unders early in the season and Kenneth Walker overs because I think his usage will be high in those first couple of weeks. At the wide receiver position, Rashee Rice is looking to play a full season. He had a little procedure this offseason to remove loose bodies in his right knee. So if he can be healthy to start the year, and he did participate in 11-on-11 drills this week, if he can be healthy to start the year, it gives Mahomes his number 1 weapon back. And we'll see what married Travis Kelce looks like. I saw his touchdown prop was at 4.5, which might seem low, but Kelce is not the same touchdown scorer that he used to be. 5 touchdowns last year, 3 the year before, 5 the year before that. 4.5 is a good number. I don't know what we're going to get from Travis Kelce this year. This probably is his last year. How motivated is he this year? Is he going to put the pedal to the metal right away? Or is he going to, monitor his snaps and his effort and Noah Gray maybe having a larger impact on this offense and then, Kelce kind of saving himself for later in the season and then once they get into the playoffs? Like, I think that's a real concern that you have to have with aging players. Overall, I look at this Chiefs schedule. I think week 1 against Denver on Monday Night Football is no walk in the park, even though you're home. But still, if there was any week, I mentioned this yesterday, if there was any week that you want to play Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs this year, it's week 1 when you don't know how healthy Mahomes is going to be. Then in week 7 and 8, back-to-back road games at Seattle, at Denver. And later in the year, back-to-back road games at Buffalo and at the Rams. It wouldn't surprise me if the Chiefs go 1-3 in those 4 games. I can only bet under 10.5 wins with this team, especially because I'm higher on the Broncos than other people, and I know a lot of people are high on the Chargers this year. I just think until we see Mahomes get back to being Patrick Mahomes, I can't bank on this team to be a 12, 13 win team, even though that's not the number. I get it, but it feels like people are already penciling this team in to be the AFC West champions and be legit Super Bowl contenders. I'm not buying it just yet. So I'm on the under 10.5 wins for the Kansas City Chiefs, and I will likely, as I said yesterday, will likely be fading them in week 1 against the Denver Broncos. Okay, that wraps our 32 in 32 preview of the Kansas City Chiefs. Next week, we will continue to round out the AFC West. On Monday, we have the Las Vegas Raiders, followed by the Chargers, and then it's NFC East time. We'll get into the Cowboys, Giants, and Eagles to close out the week next week. Let's talk some Major League Baseball.
Baseball fans, think you know who's hitting a homer today? Well, FanDuel is giving you a free chance to call your shot with Daily Dingers. Joining the action's easy. Just make your free pick on who's hitting a home run in their game, and if you're right, you'll get a profit boost to use on your next bet for a chance at extra winnings. You've got nothing to lose and a lot to gain. And don't forget, you can make a free pick every day during MLB season. It's just another way FanDuel is home for home runs. So, are you ready to play your game today? Join all the action at FanDuel.com/Believe. That's FanDuel.com/Believe to play Daily Dingers and make your free pick on who's hitting a homer. Play ball and swing for the fences on FanDuel, an official partner of the MLB. 21 plus in select states. For Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino. 18 plus DC, Kentucky, Wyoming. No purchase necessary. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as a non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MY-RESET. Call 1-888-789-7777. Visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org. Call 800-327-5050 in Massachusetts. Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY. Text HOPE-NY New York. Call 1-877-770-7867 in Louisiana.
Make it 8 straight wins for the Boston Red Sox as they walk off against the White Sox 12-11 in 13 innings last night, as the Boston Red Sox improved to 31-5 in their last 36 games. That sounds crazy and too crazy to be true. No, that is a legit stat. Even better, they're 26-3 in their last 29 games. They've won 9 straight series. That is the second longest stretch in franchise history. And with the sweep of the White Sox, the Red Sox got their 6th sweep over a team that entered the series in first place. That's the first time that a team has had 6 sweeps of first place teams in a single season since the expansion era in 1961. That according to Elias Sports. Boston 5 games back of the Rays in the American League East standings. They are currently the second wild card in the American League, 6.5 games up on the Rangers. They're a half game back of the Yankees for the first wild card. Up on FanDuel, the Red Sox plus 1,100 to win the World Series. And if you're looking at the awards market, Chad Tracy, who took over after the Red Sox fired Alex Cora, is plus 210 as the second favorite to win the AL Manager of the Year behind Will Venable of the Chicago White Sox, who's minus 110. With all due respect to Will Venable and this great season the Chicago White Sox have had, they are currently 3 games up in first place in the American League Central despite losing 3 straight games here to the Red Sox. Chad Tracy taking over for a fired Alex Cora to lead a team to 26 wins in 29 games, 31 wins in 35 games, multiple sweeps of first place teams. Wow. I mean, what a job, what a turnaround by this Boston Red Sox team. I don't think there's any team in the league that is comfortable playing Boston right now. The Red Sox will begin a new series at home tonight against the A's. Peyton Toll on the mound, Boston minus 278. That's wild. Elsewhere, the Phillies beat the Nationals last night 7-3. Christopher Sanchez became the first 15-game winner in the majors this season. Phillies take on the Blue Jays tonight in Philadelphia. They're minus 223 with Zach Wheeler on the mound. Jose Soriano on the bump, making his Blue Jays debut. A reminder, if you haven't done so already, download the Better Day mobile app available on the iOS App Store. If you have an Android device, simply respond to the email newsletter and let me know that you are looking to get in on the Android app, and we will get you in there. Learn how you can become a Better Day Insider or Premium member at BetterDay.com or on the Better Day mobile app. We are still running our promo, which we will put in the newsletter for you to get 50% off your first month of Better Day Premium in celebration of the Better Day mobile app. Next week, the brand new Better Day podcast lineup will debut. Monday, Mackenzie Rivers on the program. Tuesday, Michael Fiddle. Wednesday, David Behrman. Thursday, AJ Hoffman. And also on Thursday, the Better Day football show debuts. You do not want to miss that. We are live each and every week on Thursdays at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific time. Streaming live on the Better Day YouTube page and on Twitter at better_day. So make sure you follow us on both of those channels. I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's hoping you make today and every day a better day.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.